Hello and welcome to Game Week 5 predictions of the Premier League. Last week I got 8 points, taking me to a total of 23 points. First up we have Liverpool versus Everton, the Merseyside derby. So Liverpool, they faced Burnley. It was straight attack versus defense in that game. They were throwing everything except Isak. He debuted the game after. We'll talk about that game as well. But yeah, they're so lucky that Hannibal had his hand up in the air for some fucking reason. And they got a pen. And of course, who converted it? Salah gets another goal that's undeserved. And the luck doesn't end there. They also faced Atletico Madrid, which they started off hot in. They got 2 goals early on within 6 minutes. And after that, they sort of gave the game to Atletico. Atletico had majority of the ball, majority of the plays, and they were awarded with 2 goals. But then, last couple minutes, once again, here comes Van Dijk flying in with the header and getting them the win. As for Everton, they had another great game, this time against Villa. I do think they deserved the win. They just couldn't finish their shot. Grealish definitely deserved an assist. The amount of balls he was putting in and people were getting at the end of it, but did not put them on target, was pretty bad. Especially Beto, I'm looking at you. But yeah, for this matchup, Liverpool versus Everton at Anfield, Liverpool usually keep a clean sheet. It's usually 2-0. That's how it's been in the last couple years. But I'm going to go with something a little bit different, simply because both teams have been looking pretty good. Everton, I think they can't score on Liverpool because Liverpool can't concede. And as for Liverpool, they just score a lot of goals. So I'm going to go for a 3-1 win to Liverpool. Next up is Burnley versus Forest. Burnley first up, they had a godly low block against Liverpool. I usually hate low blocks, but when it's against a team I don't like, I respect it. But it didn't get them anything in the end. They lost their 3 points. And that's not the only thing they lost. They are also missing out on Ugochukwu this game because he picked himself a red card. And as for Forest, they lost 3-0 to Arsenal. First half, it looked like Nuno was still in charge. They were more of a defensive unit. But then the second half, Ange said, no, screw that. We're going for it. But they ended up losing 3-0. So there's no new manager bounce there for Ange. And then they continue with no new manager bounce because they're also out the Carabao Cup, losing 3-2 to Swansea, I think it was. It was an upset. Whoever it was an upset. So yeah, not looking good for them. Honestly, what they deserve for sacking Nuno so prematurely. But for this matchup, Burnley versus Forest, I think Burnley may have even less of the ball here because Ugochukwu is not in the squad. They may do the same thing they did against Liverpool here. And as Ange implements his system more attacking for Forest, the ball is going to be in Forest's control majority of the game. It could be a little bit of defense counter game. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Next up is Brighton versus Spurs. Brighton had some decent moments, but ultimately the game was controlled by Bournemouth. Honestly, can't say much about Brighton other than Minta had another good game, and this time he got himself an assist. So Brighton are struggling a little bit to score and to not concede. As for Spurs, they had a back and forth game against West Ham until the red card. So honestly, they weren't that good against West Ham. And then they had another game against Villarreal in the Champions League, and they were also not that good against them. The only reason they won that game was because of an own goal. So Spurs are struggling as of recent. But for this matchup, it's usually Brighton win or Spurs win in their last encounters at Brighton. In their last 2 games, it's been a goal fest, which I see again happening here, 2-2, which is a draw, but I'm going to go for it. 2-2 for this game. Next up is West Ham versus Crystal Palace. First up, West Ham, they lost to Spurs 3-0, but they were pretty good until that red card that Souček got, so can't really put a negative on them. As for Crystal, they were solid, but couldn't convert any of their chances. Majority of their chances look like they came from Pino, who is there as a replacement. So he looks decent, but he needs to convert those chances. But yeah, for this matchup at West Ham, usually West Ham don't get the 3 points. It's usually a draw or Crystal win. And based on both teams' form, I'm going to say a draw. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Next up is Wolves versus Leeds. Wolves, big struggle against Newcastle. They didn't have much going on, and honestly, they should have conceded more than 1. So yeah, not great game for Wolves. Only real good thing you can say about them is that Rodrigo Gomez looks lively. As for Leeds, another good performance, but they have nothing to show for it. It's starting to get worrying for Leeds. You don't know where their goals are going to come from. The last 2 times these teams have faced in the Prem at the Molyneux, Leeds have won 4-2 and 3-2, but Leeds do not score. I don't think Leeds is going to win this game. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Wolves. Next up is United versus Chelsea. United first up, and that was a big oof. Big oof from them, losing 3-0 to us. The only real person that scared me, I could say, is Mbeumo. He had a good chance and Donnarumma blocked it. But other than that, they didn't really move me. And then Amorim comes out and says, if you don't like my philosophy, sack me. He is gone within a month. He is too stubborn. He needs to change the system, but he's just too stubborn. I think he's gone within a month. As for Chelsea, they try to rest some players for this Brentford game. It bit them in the ass. Maresca put in Cucurella and James in halftime, but it wasn't enough. And majority of the blame is going to Garnacho because he wasn't man marking his guy, and I'm all for it. I'm all for the Garnacho hate. And that's not the only bad result they had. They also lost to Bayern. A big struggle against Bayern as well. They could not really handle their play. Majority of the struggle came from Kane and Olise, but that's besides the point. Chelsea struggled. But for this matchup, United versus Chelsea at Old Trafford, United only have lost one game out of their last 15 in the Prem. That is good news for United. So Chelsea do struggle a lot here, but honestly, I want to say they win, but because of that stat, I can't give them the win. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Next up is Fulham versus Brentford. Fulham with another disappointing game in my opinion, and the only reason they won really is because of a last-minute goal again. They continue this trend of getting last-minute goals. The only real positive for Fulham, Kevin looks good. Kevin looks good on the left wing, and now we only have to wait for Chukwueze for the right side, and I think they can start cooking now. As for Brentford, they get their fourth draw to Chelsea at home. I said they were going to lose simply because their quality have gone down. They get another draw. I should have not gone against that. But yeah, they keep surprising me with great performances. For this matchup, Fulham versus Brentford, it's usually a toss-up, so I don't really know what to get. But simply because Fulham they haven't been producing much, I'm going to go ahead and give it to Brentford here. 1-0 to Brentford. Next up is Sunderland versus Villa. Sunderland with another point on the board. A great point as well because they were away, but they didn't really have many moments other than being defensively solid. So that's why the MVP is Roofs. He is a great goalie. Don't know how they scouted this guy, but he is great. As for Villa, they draw to Everton. Didn't deserve the draw in my opinion. They were shambolic. Only kept the point because of Emmy in goal, and they are also out the Carabao Cup, so it continues. This nightmare continues for Aston Villa, and I don't think it ends here. Sunderland at home, they are tough. They haven't lost or draw. They won both their games, and Villa don't score. They have not scored their first goal of the season. They are struggling, so I'm gonna give it to Sunderland here. Very low scoring though, 1-0 to Sunderland. Next up is Bournemouth versus Newcastle. Bournemouth with another great game. This time against Brighton, they get the win this time, but I don't think it was deserved. I think it was a lucky pen to get. Either way, they win their game. And then Newcastle, they face Wolves, which they only got one goal in, but they looked good. They were all over them. Voltamata gets the goal. He looks great. Big handful there. And then Murphy gets a start, and he looks great. I think Murphy should be starting these games. I think he has done nothing to prove he shouldn't be starting, right? So bench Ilanga is what I'm saying. For this matchup, honestly, Newcastle still have to face Barcelona. They faced them today, but I recorded it before. I think they can beat Barcelona. And with that momentum of beating Barcelona, having a great performance against Wolves, I think they can beat Bournemouth here. Okay, I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Newcastle. Next up is Arsenal versus City. Biggest game of the game week. And I am shitting myself for this one. Arsenal first up, they had a great game against Forest, beating them 3-0. Zubimendi getting 2 goals. He looks great. Madueke looked great this game. I'm going to say this game because it was Morato. He was going against Morato. Big whoop. They still ended up winning 3-0. And they also faced Athletic Bilbao. And they only won this one because of their depth. Martinelli and Trossard came on and connected twice for a 2-0 win. But overall, Arsenal do look pretty decent. There's still some things that they need to tweak, but they are a solid unit. As for City, lovely stuff. I love that against United. I had no hopes for that game, but we ended up winning 3-0. Foden with the goal. Finally, he gets a goal, or he's on the score sheet. So I need more of that. Doku looked great when he's in the 10 slot. That's how he got that assist. Instead of being on the wing, and he's just, shaking uncontrollably on the wing. Maybe put him in the center a little bit more. And then Haaland always looks great. And then another thing, Kushnerov being on the right back slot. Yes, I need a center back in the right back slot. I wanted a Kanji before he left, but now we can use Kushnerov. Hopefully we start doing that more. But for this matchup, Arsenal versus City, this is before the Napoli game, so I think that Napoli game could affect things here. But it hasn't happened, so I can't really talk about it. Arsenal have beaten City both recent times, 1-0 and then 5-1. That was last season. Big smacking there. But yeah, I'm gonna continue that trend. I think Arsenal beat us here at their home. I think we will struggle to get a goal here. I'm gonna go for a 2-1 win to Arsenal. So yeah, those are my game week 5 predictions. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. Leave a like, subscribe, and peace.